It is time. JEHOVAH TZABAOTH, the God bath. I told you I would give you two stories about serpents. Snakes. There's another one with Selena, but she can tell it to you. First one's by Alberto Villoldo. It's in the Four Insights, I believe. I can't remember another book I read of his. I just purchased all of them, and they sat on the shelves. He was a shaman. I went down to South America, and he was taken in by a tribe. The tribe was going to bring him into the rainforest. An indigenous tribe that was in harmony and communication with nature, attuned. And he got to the edge of the rainforest, and he listened, and he could hear the monkeys screaming and squalling, jumping from tree to tree, the birds singing, heaven. And he takes his first step into the forest. Dead silence. The monkeys stopped. The birds done. His ghosts. So we went back, horrified. He was a shaman, a gentle soul, but somehow still was just too unattuned. And he asked some people for a dead snake. I believe it was a boa constrictor. And he took the oil and the flesh from the snake and rubbed it all over his body. And he goes, maybe those monkeys and birds and animals just didn't like my smell. So let me mask it with a boa constrictor. He bathed in it. And he stood at the edge of the rainforest. And he could hear the monkeys jumping from tree to tree, limb to limb, the birds singing. It's paradise. And he takes 2 steps into the rainforest. Dead. Silence. But God. Sorry if I rape your story, Alberto. It's been a decade since I've read it. And I believe he left, disappointed and brokenhearted. He might have tried something else, too. He left, came back to the States, I believe, and continued his journey. And 9 years, 10 years later, I believe, came back with more shaman training and healing, a real one this time. Maybe I made that part up. But you get the gist. And he stood at the edge of the rainforest. The monkeys jumping from limb to limb, squeaking and squalling. The birds singing. And he steps 2 feet in. And the monkeys are jumping from limb to limb. And the birds are singing, and everything is great. Because they finally let him in. Because he stopped being such a creep. I wonder how many 1,000 hours of mutilation on himself that he had to go through to be allowed back in. He had other stories in that book, but that's the one I wanted to share. Because that's Mother Earth. She does not just allow people in. The first time I really started to hear Mother Earth, she goes, "Ugh, I want to look like Pandora, nothing less. I don't want Harry Potter land. Ah, just Pandora, nothing." You can understand when you finally start hearing Mother Earth, actually. The idea of starving to death on a beach for whales is nothing. Context changes everything. I spent my better part of my life afraid of snakes. Sad, too. I don't really know where the fear came from. But I recall a memory from when I was like 6 years old, maybe 5. It was on Colina Way, at my home in California. It was at the corner of a cul-de-sac. I was a little girl playing with a stick and a snake. I had no fear, curiosity and love and wonder. The snake had a red plastic ring around it. It was a small grayish black snake. I couldn't understand why it had a red ring, like it was either marked or deemed poisonous, or it just slithered through a pile of trash. It looked like a collar. The snake was this long. The ring was about that thick. The white of my fingernails. There was no rattle on the end of the snake. There's just nothing. This is in Southern California. Just playing with this stick. Enjoying it. There's no cruelty. Just love. Some 16-year-old boy, my neighbor. My neighbor. Playing basketball. Fucking muggle. Came to say hi. See what I was doing. And he saw that I was playing with a snake. And he took his basketball and smashed it. Pulverized it. And then ran off pretending like he was a hero. I love it. It's like hoed. It's fucking hoed. Basketball. No discernment. Nothing like, oh, please don't touch the rattlesnakes. Nothing about them. Just, I'm not allowed to play with snakes. My whole life after that, I had a trauma and fear around snakes. Forever. That I just couldn't get rid of. I don't know why. Dreams after dreams after dreams haunting me fucking day after day. Psychotic. It's kind of amazing what a shit in Hode can do to somebody in NETZACH. JEHOVAH TZABAOTH. The U bath. Somebody tried to correct me and say the Jew bath. It's both. It's the U tree and the Jew tree. Kabbalah. But it's also the U tree. So I'm not gonna tell you that it's gotten very whitewashed and very vanilla on the planet. Christianity is bizarre. And hypocrites. All of them. So it's a rekindling of the old god. And the devas. The yew tree deva. The witch's wood. And the nature spirits. Pagans. And the druids. Old magic. The green man. Pan. That's the House of Slytherin. There's something I wanted to I wanted to give the key for NETZACH to be care. As if somehow, if you'd reached NETZACH in this video, even after doing all the work, that you were going to need the energy of care. Care is what the Hode people needed. The key for NETZACH is death. Or dragon. It is both the ability to kill off everything that no longer serves this planet, and the ability to let go of yourself. It's all the Hode programs in your brain that still exist, or your body. And that will be the key. Death. It's just transformation. And if you're a light worker, you understand it and are not afraid. But like the python with its skull splitting open and allowing itself to be reborn, that to die would be an awfully great adventure. Now, if you're Ravenclaw, you understand this. If you can face death like that, then all the shitty heroes in Hode can definitely face death like that. This is how you don't be a hypocrite. So how do you kill off everything that's no longer of service to the planet? We will find out. So you can call for Archangel Haniel to come in. And correct you. Offer you your grace back. And give you the key of death or of dragon. And take a deep breath in and allow. Sometimes letting go of ourselves and our own heroism and allowing for reprogramming from higher divine spaces is what's needed. To get blessed by the yew tree. Grandmother yew. She creates a circle around you. She might go, this is our circle of trust. It's just you and her. But then it would also be me. How many people are actually in the circle of trust from Grandmother Yew? And that is a whole other teaching. I mean, really, if you can't get through the NETZACH, or even bother trying, how are you ever gonna be even qualified to be in the circle of trust with Grandmother Yew, the tree deva? So you take the key, and it goes into your heart. Death or dragon. I don't care. I don't care if I end up killing people. You know what's funny when God comes in and goes, all there is just death around. I'd prefer to teach them. Just kill their identity. I'd prefer. But somehow that just doesn't seem all that realistic. Nobody really wants to be taught. So how do I teach them without killing them? My God. They have to learn these lessons. They had to exist on this planet. They have to do it now. So how do I do it? And this should be the moral dilemma all of you guys are facing every day. Or you could just be like, the moral dilemma is, how do we kill Khaleesi? And then you guys are still responsible for everything that she was created for. This is why I'm Ravenclaw. And you guys are barely in Slytherin. How do you do it? How do you teach the world these lessons and enforce them? How do you start with your own kids? How do you get your kids to teach other kids and enforce it? Because that's what's needed. Your kids need to come off like dicks and not be popular. Your kids need to look like Greta at the least. You guys have low bars. You, Beth. These are the teachings from Grandmother You and the dragons. How do you get kids to care about picking up all the litter in the planet rather than making $1? How do you get kids to care about invisible fairies if they can't even see them? And if they can see them, how do you get your kids to get other kids to care about invisible fairies? This is part of your asset versus liability question, because your kids provide either an asset or a liability, and that accumulates in your karma. And yes, if people go, everything is not a mathematical equation, Look outside. You guys are the ones that are heartless and soulless. You guys have made everything into a mathematical equation, including how do I do no work? Or the least amount of work so I can have the most amount of relaxation. How do I skate through life? Instead of feel the burn. This is the quandary. All right, you, Beth. Now, call for Aphrodite. And then watch the mermaid video. And if you really think that the mystery school isn't full-on Slytherin, NETZACH, sex magic, Enochian magic, all of it. Believe me, they are. That's them at the most. That's their high magic. Okay. I'm not telling you guys to do sex magic. I'm telling you guys to become aware of it, though. I'm telling you guys to use appeal to bring in the lower energies and transmute them. Fine clothes, beauty, intelligence, poise, posture, high art, high level graphic design, the arts blessed by the muses, the ballet, etc., etc. Use it. Use all of it. Use Hollywood because they have failed. Hollywood is ho dominant. You can tell with all of the movies that are just action and just crap. Rhetoric. Hipster jerk-off masturbation. Emo instead of intelligence. Take Hollywood for all they're worth. How do you do it? Bring in the NETZACH and start honing in on your own abilities and practice. And develop taste. Please. Stop thinking everything is just love and light. By now, please. The U bath. Brings in the Jew bath really nice. We understand Hollywood and finery. Let go of yourself to become something more. Get a gift from Aphrodite. It will be a fuck you message, probably. Of everything that needs to be changed, or what she would change in you. She hands me a pair of, just a knife. Slit my body open. Start rearranging. Remember this, when you watch Stardust, Aphrodite is Victoria. She is beautiful. That's NETZACH. She's not everything. Kali Ren out.